The flames, the smoke, the suffering, and the outrage. But the story behind it starts on this rutted road at the edge of a forest in central Kalimantan. So we're told someone deliberately set a fire here in the last few weeks in order to clear the land and plant it with palm trees. Looks like the police have already been here too. We follow our guide, a local activist. He doesn't want to use his name or show his face, fearful his time with us might make him a target. Wow. Just look at that. You can tell it happened pretty recently. They didn't even bother to clear the charred debris before they planted the field. The sign says police are investigating a suspected criminal act, but those responsible achieved what they came for. Oil palms now rooted in the blackened landscape, ready to bear fruit and profits in a few years' time, if the culprits aren't arrested. It happens every year, says Ari Rompes with the NGO Walhi.
This has angered so many people, including me, because my family has to breathe unhealthy air. The law has only been enforced minimally. This will not deter people from burning.
The story here multiplied tens of thousands of times across the country. Illegal fires set to forests and carbon-rich peatlands, a cheap way to make room for pulp and paper, and in particular, palm oil. At least 7 companies have been declared suspects this year. To get a better understanding of this complicated landscape, Ari sends us south. This is pretty typical for a palm oil plantation. The gate out front, but no sign. It's tough to know who actually owns the land and runs the business here. And the authorities aren't always sure either, since there's no uniform system of mapping land ownership. It's a problem the president has pledged to fix with a one-map policy, which could help hold those who burn accountable. But consider this. According to Global Forest Watch, more than 60% of fire alerts recorded between July and October were outside concession borders. And that makes finding the culprits even harder. It's not just about finding and punishing them, campaigners say. Authorities should provide incentives not to burn, especially for farmers and small landholders.
There is a room to improving the yield, for example. If we're talking about employment in Indonesia, then palm oil industry or the natural resources-based industry should think more how to process the raw product here in Indonesia, raw material here in Indonesia.
With the Indonesian economy growing at its slowest in 6 years, palm oil is a sure thing. Indonesia produces more than any other country, an estimated 30 million tons every year. So this gives you an idea of where it all ends up. Shampoo, soap, cookies, crackers, peanut butter, even ice cream. All because palm oil has a long shelf life, it's versatile, and here's the key thing, cheap. There's been progress. Some companies have gone palm oil free, and others have pledged to use oil only from suppliers that don't burn. But no one doubts that global demand will only continue to grow. So with the smoke stretching across the region and more than 500,000 people sickened, will this year finally be the year Indonesia turns the corner when it comes to balancing its economy and the environment? David Molko, CNN, Palangkaraya, Indonesia.